what do you think the catalyst is?
I think it is. It goes back to what I was talking about before. It's the trust. You have to trust that he is going to, put you in a position where you feel emotionally safe, not just financially. Everything else will come if you feel emotionally safe in the situation. And that sometimes is not the easiest thing to do, because we've had not just men that have been in positions where, they make us feel unsafe, but our fathers, our grandfathers, our uncles, our brothers, just the men in our lives in general have put us in a position where we felt fear or we felt unsafe.
Kind of have to. Right. It's like a survival mode type thing.
But when they run into that nigga that's like, look, baby, chill. Sit back.
I'm changing my name from Brittany the Real to the Brittany the Housewife.
So
no further questions, Your Honor.
So your experience, you did both. I mean, like you.
Well, I was being funny because I did do both. Like I've been working since I was 12 years old and always been independent. Always had money.
What you like better?
I like having my own money.
So over a housewife?
I only enjoy being a housewife because I could be with my babies, but solely relying on my husband for every dollar. That's not fun. That doesn't feel good.
But that's so.
Let's goddamn deep dive into why. Okay.
And he didn't make me feel any type of way. Like he was a great provider.
Stand-up nigga.
Yeah, he's a great. Why? I think it was just that it was just something in me that felt less than.
It's fear.
I just was used to always having my own money and I was making 6 figures at 19.
Right, but again, that's why I speak to the why.
Broke.
Yeah.
I'm one of the 6 women that he be talking about. Okay,
salute to the 6 women on earth.
I'm one of the 6.
But
we are one of the 6.
But what
Come on, bring it back in. Bring it back in.
Bro. Look though.
That's rare.
Look though.
Somebody should have picked me at 19. I should have been a Sierra and a Russell, but it didn't happen that way.
I say this because most women who are uber successful, they are that way out of necessity.
Yeah.
It's because growing up, I seen my mama depend on a man and it didn't go right. I seen my sister depend on a man and it didn't go right. So I'm not going to replicate that. I'm going to bring my own shit to the table. You understand? And it's like you're operating out of a place of fear. And that's not healthy, is what we're saying. Right. Because if you'd had a man in your life that said, look, sit your ass down, I got it, your mindset would be very different than what it is now.
I've always had to be in survival mode.
Bingo.
I was a teen mom, so
I
didn't have an option to not have money and not work and not be successful.
And that's women, I just be trying to understand them, because it's like all the women want a man to provide, but then you get somebody who, not just necessarily you, but you get somebody who got a man to provide on how to do it, and then it's like, I'm gonna have my own. So it's like, do women really know what they want?
They do. They want to be safe.
Yeah.
They want to be taken care of. But because I've never seen an example of a man that made a woman feel safe, I don't even feel like that shit is plausible. So I'm gonna keep my get out of jail free card in my back pocket just in case. And that speaks to the lack of trust that a lot of women have for their man. And again, it's not necessarily what that man is doing. Mm-hmm. It's her history of not ever being able to depend on a man to say, look, sit your ass down. I got you.
But I'm going to be honest. We keep it honest on her. I think that's what me and Cinnamon are going through right now. I think Cinnamon, she want a job like for no reason.
I actually have this stat here, and it is I call it Department of Labor, but it's Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Based on 2024 national averages, this is in total, not Black. Only 23% of all families have only one spouse who's working. When you compare that to Black families, and I will get that number, don't you worry, that number is exacerbated, and it gets to be about 10% in Black families. And I keep saying this is not a shot. This is just facts. So it is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I'm not taking that out of my ass. And that wasn't for you. That was for the comments that was saying, that's not true. It's from ChatGPT. No, it's actually from a government website.
I just be asking, so I know.
No, you're fine, my love. I appreciate you asking, but there was some in the comments that was like, she got it from ChatGPT. No, not all of us looked at chat to get answers.
All right, so we got that. Thank you. Pro, go ahead. I think that was great for them to dive into the psychological reasons why we say we want something, and then when it arrives, we don't necessarily know how to allow it to happen because we have already adapted and adjusted ourselves to an independent type of state of mind. Um, I think many of us suffer from that. I don't think that's necessarily something that's wrong unless you don't know how to stop being that way. But to be honest, it's just a natural mechanism that we've adapted and adjusted to. I just feel like just due to us working, like you have to work. It's a survival tactic. Um, but I don't know anybody, any woman that sincerely doesn't want necessarily men to take care of her. Just go back to like I said, just have to learn how to work with that man and understand what it is to be taken care of. And like Trill was saying, it's more like a fear. So you have to be self-aware and acknowledge what it is that's going on with you and how to balance that.
No, you're good. You're good. And I do appreciate you mentioning the say versus do paradox, where women typically will ask for certain things until they get it. So, question for you, Toya. Women are wildly apprehensive when it comes to men. What do you think this is? Is it trauma? Like, what do you think the catalyst is
I think it
for?
is. It goes back to what I was talking about before. It's the trust. You have to trust that he is going to, put you in a position where you feel emotionally safe, not just financially. Everything else will come if you feel emotionally safe in the situation. And that sometimes is not the easiest thing to do because we've had not just men that have been in positions where, they make us feel unsafe, but our fathers, our grandfathers, our uncles, our brothers, just the men in our lives in general have put us in a position where we felt fear or we felt unsafe. So how are we going to trust this random man off the street?
But don't you gotta give him, allow him? Like, I don't want to say allow him, but I think that we go in it already untrusting, and so we
Sure.
already have our guards up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we a lot of times I don't even think we give men a chance to show that because we're so, you know what I'm saying, defensive. I know that's how I used to be. I can't speak for everybody else, but I used to be like that.
But Keisha, you
And
said
so
you
how
said used to be. You said
I
used to
feel like
be.
I
Yeah.
used very.
What? So if that's the case, Lakeisha, what made the light come on?
I think
What was
that
your moment of awakening?
I think I'm still learning, but as I'm getting older, obviously different chips, as I call them, you learn that, obviously we all had past hurt, trauma, all that. And my goal has been to just not to consistently take it into the next, into the next, into the next. I've had a few ships now. Y'all have too. So I've been trying to sometimes do more listening than talking. Because I've never known a soft life. I have nothing. I've never known nothing about it. I've never had a chance to that. I'm 20 years in the Army. I've never done it. I've never felt it. I have no idea what it is. So when we have these conversations, I feel lost because I'm used to doing it myself. I've always done it myself. But I think now I don't want nobody to take care of me. I just want us to combine efforts. And what that looks like, that right for us. So I'm kind of learning about that as I'm meeting different women. I mean, different women, different men. And so, yeah, I can't say I'm there, Trev. I'm learning at 46.
Okay.
I'm getting
So
there.
it makes
Can I
sense.
say
So Jay, I
something?
got a question for you. I wanted to ask you, definitely give your point, but I wanted to ask you this too. What do you think it would actually take for women to be able to trust men in that situation? Do you think it starts with the men, or do you think it starts with the women? And what could be done?
I feel like there's responsibility on both parts. People operate in their survival mode, and it's typically not just manipulation. It's a psychological state. I train on trauma in the brain and how that affects. It could be abandonment issues as a child. It could be their last relationship. It could be somebody abusing your trust or somebody cheating on you or things like that. And so I think that people have to. Something I think Keisha said is, or even pretty. Don't get me wrong. But being aware right? I think awareness is important. We all have a role. Like, this world is very insecure, and there are things that people are going to do and say that are going to affect us, right? And so how do we get through that, right? It's about being strong inside and building yourself up to be able to hurl over those things, regardless of what that looks like. And I think that what a lot of times people do is, just because this person hurt me, the next person that looks like that or may emulate that or is trying to take on that position, now we're projecting what we experienced in that past situation onto them. And a lot of times it's not fair. And I think that sometimes men are the brunt of it, but then also could be the cause of it. So I feel like there's this like give and pull in it. I think we all have our own work to do. So there's no perfect answer, I don't believe.
Yeah. Also, therapy helps. Therapy helps. I don't care. I'm a big advocate for therapy because I feel like it's underutilized in the Black community. And if we can take a look at ourselves and understand why we do the things we do and why we feel the way we feel, then we can start with accountability.
For whom, Toya, the men or the women?
Both.
Who needs this therapy?
Both.
In this particular situation, so
in this particular situation, I would say the women, but also the men, because you have to understand how to make her feel comfortable enough to trust you. You can't just go into something with blind trust. It sounds great, but it's just not real.
How does a man make a woman trust her?
Trust him?
Trust him, yeah. How does he do that?